All right, trying to get my phone together. So let me just, because you guys know that I am blind and I need my other phone. Here we go. Alrighty, we're good to go. Look at my hair. Oh, guys. Welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. It's your girl Erica here with this week's new, Tuesday's live chat. Normally on for 8 p.m., but I had to bump it up to 9 o'clock. Guys, I've been having such a horrendous kind of weekend. Besides the East Coast being slammed with, a huge snowstorm, still not bigger than the snowstorm of 93 though, but I have like problems in my bathroom. I got my ceiling leaking because we have a leak in the roof. It's just so much going on. So I had to actually bump it up to 9 o'clock. Whoever can't make it to the live stream is perfectly fine. You guys always can catch it on when it streams on YouTube. And yes, I'm doing my au natural hair look today. So, hey Heather. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, Pennsylvania is not far from New York, so you already know. It's freezing out here, but thankfully it should be raining soon, and hopefully all that snow will be washed away. So guys, you know what I gotta do? I gotta start the intro. Welcome to Intuitive Vibes, Narc Survival 101. If you are new to the channel, stick around. You may hear something that you need to hear that's going on in regards to your situation, whatever that situation may be. And you will more than likely meet a lot of pretty cool people as well while being on this channel, because I've met some really cool people, so I know you will too. And of course, to all of my returning subscribers, my returning tribe, welcome back, guys. Okay, so guys, hope you guys had a good weekend, of course, depending on where it is you're at in the world. And if you're from the East Coast, I'm pretty sure your weekend was probably going well until the snowstorm hit, and you have to probably end up shoveling snow out of your driveway, walkways, and stuff like that. It sucks, I know, but hopefully, hopefully it'll all be cleared away by rain, supposed rain by the end of the week. Okay, guys, so last week's live was a really good live, by the way. It was a really, really good live. I'm going to just fix this a little bit because I just want to make sure that I'm not looking like distorted or anything. Last week's live was a very good live. We talked about vulnerable narcissists, which are the covert narcissists, but, those are the kind of narcissists that you really wouldn't be able to tell that they were narcissists, because everything that people have learned about narcissists and narcissism and, all the posts that different people put up, it really refers a lot to narcissists who are probably more overt, probably more extroverted. And, vulnerable narcissists are, covert in that they're stealthy, but they are, in a way, I don't even want to say counter manipulative. It's just pretty much they do everything that normal narcissists, picture that, a normal narcissist, right? They do everything that other narcissists do, but instead of giving you that false mask in a sense of, I'm better than everybody else, what they do is they use their tactics to kind of make you feel sorry for them and make you kind of, to validate their feelings more. So this basically in a way is just saying that a vulnerable narcissist really sucks the energy out of you by sucking out your empathy and your sympathy, making you feel bad for them, making you feel, it's just kind of like, not, I don't want to say pity. I don't like the word pity. I can't stand that word. But it just makes you feel like you have to do a little bit extra work to to validate them. Like in relationships, you validate people. They validate you. That's how it works, and anybody who says otherwise would be pretty much full of shit. But we all like to be validated in relationships. A vulnerable narcissist pretty much uses you for your validation. That's how they get their supply out of you, because they're unhappy Inherently, narcissists are unhappy people. Okay, they do not like to see other people happy, especially when that happiness doesn't really revolve around them. But in this case, vulnerable narcissists are just pretty much, they're just all in all, they're not great people. I've come to learn that I've been around a few vulnerable narcs, and even though I kind of validated them and I kind of fed into it, now that I think of it now and I look at it like, yo, it was just like, to me, a vulnerable narcissist is really a pathetic person. You know, they're just really truly pathetic. I mean, all narcs are, but vulnerable ones are just like, you really have to stoop as low as, you know, just putting yourself down because you need that validation. Like, you couldn't, not that I'm, you know, encouraging them to be like other narcissists, but it's just the tactics that they use, the covert tactics they use, really unnecessary. Any tactics that narcissists use are unnecessary, but of course, you know, we've dealt with 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 of them in our lives, and you know, there's really nothing you can do about it, and there's nothing you could do about it. So just so you know, and again, if you're new to the channel, just so you know, depending on what type of person you're dealing with, it was not your fault, okay? Nothing you have done, nothing you have said, nothing you could have done or said would have changed them, because this is a mind frame that they've had throughout their entire life. And it's just something that's not going to change. It's not going to change. They're just going to continue being this way. But guys, in this week's live, what I wanted to talk about, a few things actually. One thing I wanted to talk about was the narcissist new relationship. Now, I've gotten a few, you know, on different videos, I get different comments. And when it boils down to a narcissist and their new supply, and them being in a new relationship, and them being with someone else, whether they cheated on you with the person, or they, you know, left you for the person, or what have you. A lot of the time, you have people who are concerned. Not so much concerned, but it's like, you know, well, after everything that was said and done between me and this person, you know, a lot of people have questions. What makes this person better than me? Why would the narcissist be this way with the new person and they were this way with me? In other words, does the narcissist change for the new supply? Do they change for new people? Do they change for new victims? No, they don't. Clear cut, right? They don't. They don't change. What they do is they simply use on the new person the same thing they used on you. So if you dated an extroverted, flamboyant type of narcissist, everything he or she did in the beginning stage, be it if it was love bombing, be it if it was, you know, mirroring, what have you, whatever the case may be, they're doing the same thing with that person. Okay? The new supply is the new you. Just like you were the new supply when it came to the last victim. There were more victims before you guys. Okay? And that's it's kind of a hard pill to swallow for a lot of us, because it's like, damn, you know. Now, the new person that they're dealing with, I don't know, everybody's different when it boils down being discarded or discarding a narcissist, or, you know, basically ending a relationship with someone extremely toxic. But the new person that they're dealing with, they may, I mean, there are a lot of different things that they may do. One, they may sit there and post up, you know, they may utilize social media and post up like selfies and pictures of them being with a new person, and you know, videos of them traveling with a new person and doing all kinds of things with a new person. Please keep in mind, this is all to make you jealous. I have to laugh. I have to laugh because they actually think, and of course, this is for people who've already been through the process, who are going through their healing, who know, you know, that this is just a game that they're playing. But this is for people that are new to the game, okay? Because this is a game. This is for people that are new to the game. All of the things that they're doing is an attempt to, 1, piss you off, 2, make you jealous, 3, get a reaction out of you, okay? So if you happen to be on social media, and let's say you have mutual friends or, you know, mutual followers, whatever the case may be, everything, like if you notice, they're doing a lot, like they're doing the utmost, and they're doing things that they never really did with you. I strongly believe as each victim, with each victim, they take it up a notch. They go up and up a notch. So with you, if they never really, let's say, took pictures with you, if they never really showed that like public display of affection, or if they never really, did the utmost while they were with you, but then you noticed they're doing this with the new person that they're dealing with. That's all to piss you off, because they know that you're watching, they know that you're looking at their stuff. I've told quite a few people in the different stages of their dealing with narcissistic abuse and after the discard, I've had to tell people, don't look at their stuff. Don't go to their social media, because they're expecting you to do that. So everything that they're putting out there, everything that they're doing this because they're trying to get a rise out of you. And most people would sit there and wonder, what the hell did I do that they would actually do this to hurt me more? Well, that's the point. That's the point. When it boils down to a narcissist, because they're so internally miserable, and because deep down inside they know that the new supply, the new person they're with, the new victim, is nothing but a superficial source of validation, they know deep down inside that you, one, are capable of having something meaningful. You're capable of eventually having something more concrete, with more solidity, more healthy. You're capable of having these things. They're not. So in their mind, in their twisted, demented minds, they feel the need to really try to hurt you while you're down. They kick you while you're down. Narcissists kick you while you are down. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about you. And I hate saying it like that, but sometimes I have to, because this is for you to understand, especially for people who are new to this whole entire process. For you to understand, you have to try to avoid hoovers. Hoovers are when they try to suck you back in. When they try to come back in and say, I'll change. Okay, I'm trying to fix things. I'll get help. I'll do this. I'll do that. They're going to try to appease you. They're going to try to appeal to what it is they know that you want. Narcissists are by any means necessary type of people, right? So if ever you were dealing with a narc, and you at one point in your life thought, I want to marry this person, I want to be forever with this person, and they knew you wanted to marry them, and they knew you wanted to have that life with them, and you wanted to have that concrete relationship with them, and they did half the crap that they did to hurt you the way that they did, if they know for a fact, I have to give this person what they always wanted to prove to them that I'm willing to change. And not only prove to them that I'm willing to change, this is in their mind. Think about it, guys. I have to give them what they wanted in order for them to let me back in. So if you've always wanted marriage, and you always wanted to have it with that person, and they know you always wanted to have it with them, what do you think the one thing is that they're going to do to try to get you back in, to lure you back in? Remember, okay? Any means necessary. Irrefusable. They will give you things that are irrefusable, that you will not refuse. So if they decided to go and get a wedding ring, or they decided to go and get an engagement ring because they knew that that's what you wanted, okay, that's one of the biggest ways that they could try to hoover you back in. They're going to try to play at your innermost desires, what you've wanted most out of anything. And sometimes they succeed, because sometimes people fall for it. People go back into it. And even after all of that hurt and that pain, and oh, hi, Jason. Hi, sweetie. Thank you for showing up. Even after all of that pain, they still want to come back. And you would think to yourself, well, you did all of this, you went through all of this trouble. Why would you want to come back? Why would you want to come back? You went through all this trouble to hurt me and do everything that, you could possibly do to hurt me. Why would you come back? Simple. They're selfish, arrogant, egotistical, entitled people. And because they are in a state in a stage of their life, or their relationship, or whatever the case may be. Because remember when they was in there posting up pictures, all happy, yeah, we're all good, and we're this and we're that, and yeah, we're having fun, and I finally found love, and this and that. What do we know about narcs, guys? They get bored easily, number one. Number two, they are voids. So clearly, you couldn't fulfill them. That next person is not going to be able to fulfill them either. Okay? How do you fill a void? You don't fill a void. You can't fill a void. Someone else cannot fill your void. Only you can fill your void. And until they realize that, they're going to keep going around to different sources to try to fill voids that are unfillable. So in most cases, when you're dealing with a situation like this, that they are dealing with someone else, they're in another relationship or whatever, just know that what they were doing with you, they're doing with that person. Okay, whether they're a covert, overt, inverted, cerebral, somatic, malignant. I mean, what does not matter, whatever kind of freaking narcissist they are. Okay, anyone who has to use manipulation, anyone who has to be in control all the time, constantly be the one who says who goes where, what happens, so, they're not going to be happy. They're never going to be happy. All right. And everything that they're doing, that nonsense that they're doing, that's all to get a reaction out of you. I learned that the hard way. I really did. Everything that was being done during the silent treatment stage, if you've been through the silent treatment stage and you're confused and you don't know like what to think, you don't know what to do, and you notice how they're giving you the silent treatment, but they're, interacting with everybody else, and all of a sudden all these other new people are coming into the picture, and you don't know who this person is, and everything that they never did with you, or they claim they never did with you, they're doing it now. And you're just like, yo, I know that feeling, guys. Trust me, I've been there. And I've learned that at that time when I would react, I would get met with narcissistic rage, and I would get met with yelling. Like people, he would yell and get just angry and frustrated, and he would gaslight me. He would really gaslight me. And I'm like, yo, I know what I'm seeing here. Like, what are you doing? And I would always get I would never do that to you. What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, you're telling me this, but it looks like that. And it's just not right. It's not right. But all the while, and going through all of it, he was putting up pictures. He was, he was portraying a life of, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on my own. I mean, hey, listen, you're good on your own. That's cool. And he was doing all of that because he was trying to get a reaction out of me. And in the beginning, he did. He would always every time I saw him do something, I would snap like, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? And then what do I get? I get yelling, and I get cursing, and I get everything. So just keep that in mind, guys. If they're doing things of this nature, social media, they're doing all kinds of things that they know hurt you. They know it hurts you, guys. And please, let's not make excuses for them, okay? Because people want to use narcissism as, it's because you have people that want to use it as it's a mental illness. It's something they can't control. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, okay? It is a distorted way of thinking. Narcissism is a distorted way of thinking, because unless you are born with this, it's not a mental illness. A mental illness is a chemical imbalance in the brain. It's a physical imbalance within your physical brain. Narcissism is something that you were taught. You were taught to be a selfish person. You were taught to be an untrusting person. You were taught to be a manipulative person. You were taught to be unempathetic, unemotional, emotionally unavailable. You were taught all of these things, okay? It's not like it's something you were born with. So, yes, they know what they're doing. They knew what they were doing. And it just, every time, it kills me when I hear people's stories, because it's like, dude, I want so much to, like, honestly, I can't say this on live because it's so violent and it's so brutal, but you can only imagine what I want to do to people like this, because So many innocent victims are going through this, and it's like, I was once there. I know that pain. I know what that feels like. And I know what you are going through. If you're a new victim, I know what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. And, I could truthfully say, did you deserve it? No, you didn't. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. Nobody does. But unfortunately, there are people like this in the world. And us coming across people like this, especially people who like to see the good in people, who always like to see the good in people. Like, no, you got flaws, but, I still see you as a good person. That's not a flaw. And if it is a flaw, it's a very, very deep rooted, screwed up kind of flaw, especially if they were doing it throughout their life for many years. So just bear that in mind, guys. If you're dealing with a narcissist, their new supply, that's all it is. It's new supply. And you shouldn't even be worried about it, to be honest. You really shouldn't be worried about it, because I don't, encourage new victims being made. But at the end of the day, if maybe, who knows, maybe the new victim may be wise to the bullshit, and they might just, discard the narc before it gets any further. At the end of the day, it's not your responsibility. It really is not your responsibility. And if it's meant to happen in a certain way for another person, you have to focus more on you. And as selfish as that sounds, you have to listen. If you want to do the humane thing and try to warn people, that's fine. But just understand, the narcissist already got into that person's head about you. Okay? They already got into that person's head about you. So even if you try to sit there and say, listen, your boyfriend or your girlfriend is a narcissist, they're very manipulative, they're very this, they're very that, chances are the first thing they're going to tell you is, oh, they told me you would say something like that, because he or she already filled their head up about you. They already told them stuff about you that's not even true. But of course, because they need to groom their new supply, what do? They lie to them. They lie to them just like they lied to you about their ex before you. You understand? So keep that in mind, guys. Don't let the new supply fool you. It's completely not what you think. Okay? It's superficial. It's not real. It's really pretend. And everything that they're doing, every little pathetic attempt that they're doing, even if you're dealing with a narc and you have children with this person, if they're, doing things with their new supply, and let's say with your kid, and obviously you feel disrespected by it, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, it's something that I have to continuously embed, because I know people get like, when, if someone were to leave you for someone else, you do get that sense of, damn, like, you kind of internalize that, because, the first thing we tend to do when someone does that is say, what was wrong with me? What was wrong with me? Why couldn't I be, why was I not good enough? Was I not good enough to, to be your partner? Was I not good enough to be someone you want to share the rest of your life with? Truth was, you were way too good for them. Way too good for them. And it wouldn't have worked out anyway. It would not have worked out anyway. The only thing that would have happened was it would have just prolonged. The abuse would have prolonged, and it would have just gotten worse over time. So, in a way, be grateful that it happened, Be grateful that it did happen, that now you can open your eyes. And that way you can have a healthy relationship with somebody. You can have a healthy, normal, validating relationship with someone else who does not need to manipulate you, doesn't need to project onto you, doesn't need to gaslight you, doesn't need to make you feel like something is wrong with you when the reality is something is wrong with them. Because that's exactly how it is. It's exactly how it is. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was I made a list of things, but I'm kind of winging it, guys. I am kind of winging it. But another thing I wanted to talk about for the ladies, if you're dealing with men who are who have, thank you to Lori, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? It is true. Like you have to, You just have to really understand that how people treat you is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. It's a reflection of them, because if you've shown them respect, if you've given them courtesy, if you've given them love, and you've done everything in your power to try to make them happy, but they still manage to do these things, there is something wrong with them. There is clearly something wrong with them. Okay? And at the end of the day, I mean, it has to do with fucked up parenting. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what it has to do with. It has to do with their parents. Hi, I don't know why I'm tongue-tied today. Hi, Magnificent. Welcome, sweetheart. It has to do with their parents. Whether they saw abuse between their parents, whether their parents abused them, whether their father was not there for them, or their mother was just not being emotionally available for them, whatever the case may be. That is an issue that you have to sit there and say to them, this is clearly deep-rooted issues that you have with people who were supposed to teach you how to love. And since you were not properly taught how to love, love yourself for one, I'm not letting you project that crap onto me. I'm not letting you put that onto me, because I'm not responsible for what was and was not done to the point that you are screwed up in your head about this. Don't take responsibility for anything. You're only responsible for you, what you've contributed, what you have done throughout the dynamic, and that is it. You're not responsible for them and their bullshit. And for them to, when they project that onto you. You're not responsible for it, guys. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was, ladies, if you're dealing with men who have narcissistic mothers, okay? You guys noticed I recently did a video on the Peter Pan syndrome and narcissism. And I did that video because Peter Pan syndrome, remember what I told you guys, it's pretty much where, adults don't want to be adults. They don't want to grow up, okay? They want to live like they're still kids. So they still want to live, in, nothing is wrong, guys. Nothing is wrong with living with your parents, especially if certain circumstances call for it. But Peter Pan syndrome is pretty much where people just want to continuously act like kids, You got a 30-something, 40-something, even 50-something-year-old man acting like he's still 18, 19, People with Peter Pan syndrome, they don't want to grow up, which means that they avoid commitments, they avoid serious relationships, they avoid serious responsibility. Let me know if this all sounds familiar to you guys, okay? They avoid serious responsibilities. They avoid their parental duties. They avoid making wise choices when it comes to finances. And what's crazy about it is a lot of these symptoms would describe a narcissist, right? The only difference is that with Peter Pan, actually there is really no difference, to be honest, but there is. The only difference is that Peter Pan syndrome, I mean, at some point, you do have people that break out of that. They grow up, they break out of the whole thing. And the main important difference between Peter Pan syndrome and narcissism, I mean, narcissism utilizes more deceptive tactics, deception. It's more pathological. Peter Pan syndrome is just pretty much, it's still a way of thinking, because it is. And Peter Pan syndrome is actually more common in men than it is in women, okay? Women can have Peter Pan syndrome too, guys, okay? I believe it's called the Wendy syndrome, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look more into it. But it's more common in men than it is with women, because women, I mean, listen, it's commonly known that women mature faster. They mature faster than, girls mature faster than boys. But, not to say that we're better than you guys, because we're not, okay, guys? But Peter Pan syndrome is commonly known to affect men more than it is women. When you're dealing with men who have narcissist mothers, you best believe that you're dealing with someone who has narcissism and probably has Peter Pan syndrome, especially when they have that unhealthy attachment with their mother. Now, narcissist mothers play a big role in this too. So it's not just the narc's, it's not just the narc's fault. It's his mother's fault too. They play a big role in this because these types of mothers like to stifle their children. They like to keep them closed in. But here's the thing. They're not overt with it. Narcissist mothers are more covert. They're not overt with what they do. And by that I mean they're not just going to flat out, although you probably have a few that would, but they're not just going to flat out and say, oh no, you're my son and you're going to be with me for the rest of my life and you're going to stay here and live here with me for the rest of my life because no other woman should be of importance to you but me. Not every mother does that. How narcissist mothers do it is they sabotage their children covertly. Okay? They sabotage their kids covertly. So ladies, if you're dealing with a dude, if you're dealing with a male narc, okay? Or let's just put both of them on the scale. If you're dealing with a male narc or someone who has Peter Pan syndrome, okay? You're dealing with someone who, one, was raised not to trust women, okay? Not to trust women, not to trust any kind of women but their mother, all right? So if you notice how if you were dealing with a male narcissist and you weren't doing anything wrong, you were pretty much just, playing by the guidelines of the relationship, doing what you had to do. And even if you did do something and it wasn't intentional, or maybe it was subconscious and you didn't realize it, and you would sit there and wonder, why the hell are you getting this way? Or why are you getting so abrasive? Why are you getting so controlling, paranoid, what have you? They have been raised not to trust women, okay? Male narcissists, which I've explained this before, inherently, they resent their mothers. So because they resent their mother, they take that shit out on women, okay? They take that out on women. So even though you have a man who loves women, all right, who loves women, by that I don't mean like genuinely love women, a man who's attracted to women, a man who is heterosexual, likes women, deep down inside, he hates them. He hates them because he hates his mother. His mother's, his mother was the first one that he met before he met any of us. Before he met any of us, his mom was the first one he met. His mom was the one who was raising him from the little tiny shit that he was up into him being an adult. Okay? And because of the kind of relationship he has with his mother and that resentment he holds towards his mother, he pretty much uses that as a defense mechanism with any woman who comes in his path. To Lori, I start feeling wired or weird because I felt like a caregiver more than a wife. It was very weird to see him spiral back to childish behaviors. He behind being a working man to avoid other... Yeah. And the thing of it is, hey Gil, hey sweetie, it's okay, love. The thing of it is, Lori, is that when you, especially if you in your life have had the caregiving role, okay? If you've had that kind of role, like me, I've had the caregiving role. I had to help my mother. My mom was a single mom, so I had to help her with my siblings. And I noticed that if I got into a relationship with someone, I kind of automatically fell into that kind of role where I felt the need to be the caregiver. I felt the need to be the giver of many things. And when you're dealing with men who, listen, we're just going to flat out call them mama's boys because, there are men that are like this, okay? I'm not saying that you guys are like this, but there are men that are like this. They're basically so coddled and so complacent with the dynamic with their mother that it's like, why buy the cow when I can get the milk for free? You know what I'm saying? And when they do get into a relationship with you, it's kind of like comparison, which I find it to be really weird because it's like, listen, if I'm your wife, I'm your wife. Or if I'm your girlfriend, I'm your girlfriend. I am not your mother. Okay, I'm not your mother. And the mere fact that if you are 40, 50 years old, you're, or, just old enough, you're an adult to sit here and say, well, my mom would do this and my mom would do that. Bro, you're old enough to do your own. You're old enough to be on your own. You're old enough to take care of things on your own. Why aren't you doing that? In some cases, depending on the situation, they may reverse, like they may try to flip it and make you feel guilty for not being like their mother. And on the flip side of it, because I told you that, narcissists, when they're dealing with women that are opposite of their mother, because they resent their mother, people with Peter Pan syndrome are more the ones who are like attached in that, narcs are unhealthily attached to their mothers, but people with Peter Pan syndrome are more attached to the dynamic with their mother because they have just become so rooted in that attachment. But narc mothers, like I was saying, they covertly sabotage their kids. They covertly do certain things to keep their kids stuck. Okay? So let's say you have a narcissist mother and she has a son. Okay? And let's say she feels that he should be taking care of her. He should be tending to her needs. He should be the one to do, whatever it is that she wants. She will covertly sabotage his life to keep him stuck, to keep him, living with her, to keep him taking care of her, whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally. He becomes her caregiver. Okay? And over the years, she would be sabotaging him. Listen, she could sabotage him through finances. So if because narcissists are known to like kind of they put their money to the side and they have you spending yours. So if you have a narcissist mother who is, which we call that in the real world, we call it stealing. Okay, that's the last I remembered, because if you are hiding money from me and you have me paying for everything, have me taking care of everything, of course I can't move out. I can't live on my own. I can't have my own because I'm constantly taking care of you. I'm not saying don't take care of your parents, but at the end of the day, if this is a narcissist mother, listen, if she knows damn well what she's doing, she could take care of herself. Okay? She can take care of herself. But you have mothers that do that. A lot of narcissist mothers will, over time, of course, and again, very stealthily, sabotage their kids. They will sabotage them. They will make themselves the responsibility of their child or their children so they can take care of them. And I'm all too familiar with this. I'm way too familiar with this, which is why I just, I said, just go. I don't want nothing to do with that, because at the end of the day, I listen, I never get between a man and his mother, but if your mother is a lying, thieving snake, then I'll let you know. Listen, mommy not so dearest over here. Yeah, she's dipping in your pockets. But at the end of the day, I want no part of that, because if you really think about it, they're going to end up going right back to the mom anyway. No matter how much shady, shisty crap the mother does, they're going to end up staying. Because you really got to remember, guys, the mother didn't spend so much time sacrificing her own child and sabotaging them that they really don't have any means to leave. They don't have any way of getting, detached from the situation. They're just so embedded in it that it's like, what am I going to do? Think of every, like, when it boils down to narcissists, I think of every tactic that a parent would stoop so low to really just like sabotage, just really sabotage. Because a narcissist doesn't have to be created, but unfortunately they are. And it starts with their parents. Okay? The narcissist that you have dealt with, whether it be your ex-girlfriend, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-friend, your ex-coworker, all of these people you have dealt with, it started with their parents. Their parents are responsible for that. Okay? Unless they had parents that abandoned them and they had someone else raise them, Their parents are responsible for that. And these parents will do anything because they are unhappy, because they are miserable people, because this was how they were raised. They will do the same thing to their own kids. Narcissist parents don't give a shit about their kids, bro. They don't. They don't care about their kids. They don't care if you have to go broke. They don't care if you have to use every single card that you have to pay off whatever debts. They don't care. They have no moral compass. Narcissists do not have moral compass. They do not care. Every action that they have done was well thought out. It was well planned. Everything that they have done, they knew what they were doing. Okay? And when you're dealing with a narcissist, listen, when it boils down to children, because narcissism doesn't really hit as much until like in their teenage years. So the parents were pretty much grooming their kids while they were young. Okay? They were grooming them, prepping them for when they get older to basically be worse. But the parents pretty much raise their kids to believe that the world is just a frightening place to be. You can't trust anybody. You can't, it's a it's a dog eat dog world. You got to do what you got to do to get what you need, because nobody's going to do it for you. Because there are no good people in the world. That's what they raise their kids to think. And because they raise their kids to think that, all of you good people that they came across, they ended up screwing over. Because their parents raised them to believe that. Nobody has you like your parents have you. That's their thought of it. They manipulated, they lie, they've deceived their children, they've done everything. And they have raised them to believe that there are no good people in the world. The only people you can trust are the people right here. When in fact, those were the same ones that have been lying to them their whole lives. Hi, Mario. Okay, good evening. Glad to be catching another live. Just had a great talk with my therapist Saturday. I ceased contact with my mom since then. That's perfect. I'm very, very happy for you, Mario. And you know what? It's hard because it's your mom, and a lot of the time we don't want to have that kind of friction with our parents. But at the end of the day, if it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. People tend to think that it's you have to put up with certain things because it's your mother. And the reality of it is that you don't have to put up with anything you do not want to put up with. Anything that is disruptive to your peace, you don't have to put up with it. And parents of this caliber, they think that, well, I'm the parent. I say what goes. I can treat you however way I want to treat you because I gave you life. Like, what? So because you gave me life, because, you raised me, yeah, you provided for me, but they fail to understand that parents like this fail to understand that they failed as parents. Okay? They failed as parents. And good parents at that. Because they can, they can support you. They can do all of the necessary things. And yet they're not like bonding with you. They're not connecting with you. They're not empathizing with you. They're not sympathizing. They're not, they're not giving you the full emotional plate that you deserve. And they think that because they put a roof over your head and they did, they did a little of this, they did a little of that, they showed off to their friends all of the stuff that they've done for you, that warrants being treated the way they treat you? No, it doesn't. Oh, Janice, thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Magnificent. That's most of my biological family talk. Yeah, I stay away. Like, I don't talk much with my family either. And it's not that I don't love them, but you gotta love them from a distance. You just gotta be like, listen, stay away. Just, yeah, I see you. No problem. But you just can't, the only thing I say is if they need blood and you're a match, donate and that's it. But don't don't interact with people that are going to disrupt your peace, guys. That's the, because then you'll just be going backwards, you know. And if you got rid of the narcissist, if you are no longer dealing with the narcissist, you don't need any other people that are toxic in your life. One narcissist is enough for me. Unfortunately, I have dealt with a few of them, and I, to this day, sometimes wonder why I haven't turned stone cold towards people. And I think it's just because my spirit won't let me do that. It won't let me turn towards people or project onto other people what was done to me, you know? And God is pretty much, has always been in my corner. So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to project onto you what happened to me. But I'm not going to get involved with you until I'm for sure that, you know, I'm healed and everything has been released from me. Because dealing with a narcissist, you inherit trust issues, like extreme trust issues. And it's so hard for you to trust people that you sometimes block yourself from having that. You block yourself from getting involved with other people because for fear of going through what you went through. And I get it. And that's exactly what PTSD is. It's just that fear. It's that fear of, God, do I got to watch my back with you? You know, it's that fear of, if I lay down, you know, and you move slightly and you jump out of bed, like, it's just, it's fear. It's all fear based. And that's something that we have to work through. We have to work through that, guys. And I tell you guys, don't let what other people have projected, because a narcissist is simply a bully who had been bullied by other bullies, and because they did not stand up to those bullies, they actually basically kind of joined their gang, they joined their clique, and they bully other people who they deem as weak. And even for a split second, yeah, maybe you were weak. Maybe you were, okay? When you were hurting and you were crying, or in my case, you were begging and pleading, you know, you were weak for that split second. But then when you got back up and you started just regaining your strength and you're like, nah, screw this. And you start seeing things for what they are, because the veil comes off. Everything starts to come up. When everything comes off, and don't let the reminiscing and the memories fool you, man. Don't let them do it. Listen, it's happened to me a few times. I could be walking down the street and I'm just like, this reminded me of a certain occasion, and I catch myself like thinking about it because the moment was so, it was so real, it was so in the moment, and it was so nice, you know, it felt so nice that I caught myself standing there for a second and I'm smiling, like a little smirk comes and I'm like, but that shit went out my head like just as fast, because just as much as you want to think good, happy memories, it's like, as much as you would love to stay in that state of mind, the reality hits you again. It really hits you again. And as much as I think about the good times, I cannot forget about what happened towards the end. For me, that is a moment that I will never ever forget. Everything that happened in the last, I would say, year, about maybe within the year from the discard, I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And I, for some reason, feel like God won't let me forget it, because I think he knows, like, I have to constantly make sure that you understand what it is that you got involved with, because this right here, that is not of me. That is not of me. And that's another thing, guys, because people sit there and say, why did God let this happen to me? Why did God let this happen to me? He tried warning you, just like he tried warning me. But because we can be hard-headed sometimes, and because we let our heart do the thinking and the walking for us, we are responsible for our own decisions. Okay? We are responsible. Hi to Exclusive. Welcome, sweetie. I'm actually glad you're here, because I was reading and I was gonna put in today's live in regards to the question that you had asked in my on the post in regards to how dangerous narcissists can be, because a lot of people, we've all gone through different situations with narcissists, but I sometimes wonder if people actually understand the scale of the the um the mental health issues that narcissism entails, because even though we have our moments, guys, that we see the superficial aspects of it, we see how they, go for supply, they cheat, they lie, they do X, Y, and Z. They also have a very, yes, magnificent, absolutely. They're very dangerous. They have a pathological side to them. Okay. You have malignant narcissists, you have sociopathic narcissists, you have cerebral narcs, you have these different types of narcs that fall on the darker side of the scale, where they can be extremely dangerous. Okay, they can resort to violence, they can resort to physical violence, they can resort to all types of violent behaviors. So it's not just about cheating, it's not just about, oh, they left me, they're acting like a fool on the internet and they're doing X, Y, and Z. You have narcissists who are stalkers, okay, who are stalkers. You have narcissists who act like sociopaths, and sociopaths are like, they're on the verge of psychopaths. You have narcissists that will commit crimes. They commit crimes, felonious, violent crimes. My ex isn't that physically violent, but he's very vindictive. He's only slapped me and thrown stuff at me. Yeah, you know something? I'll be honest with you, exclusive. I'll be honest with you. That's just the beginning. That could be just the beginning. See, even though, listen, first and foremost, did not have a right to put their hands on you. Did not have a right to put their hands on you. No one has the right to put their hands on anybody else. Okay? But over time, if, for example, you've been in a relationship with this person and they've been physically violent in the past, over time that can get worse. That can get worse, a lot worse. And matter of fact, I was talking with Amanda when we were doing a sit chat, and I was explaining about femicide, because I don't know where you're from, but out here in New York, they became really hardcore with the domestic violence cases in court, because there was so much femicide going on. There were a lot of women being murdered, being killed, relationships, ex-relationships, marriages, you name it. It was so much. And in the type of work that I was in, I would see so many domestic violence cases. I agree. He didn't slap me until we were over a year in. His excuse was he slapped me to see where my mind... Whew. Those were his words. And you're from Toronto. Oh, too exclusive. Send him to New York, please. Please. I have a bunch of female friends that would love to whoop his ass as soon as he hits Port Authority in Manhattan. Okay? I'm just saying. You'll learn a lot about me when you go through my channel. You will learn a lot about me when you go through my channel. Trust me, because that is the most coward thing I have ever heard. The most coward thing. I only slapped you because I wanted to see where your mind was at. Okay. So if I punch him in the face and his brain pops out, well, I just wanted to punch you in the face because I needed to knock your oh my gosh, Manda. I'm so sorry. You know something? I know what it is to be in a physically abusive relationship. I know what that feels like. And let me tell you something. To me, a man who puts, and anybody who puts, Amanda, you already know how I feel about it. You already know how I feel about it. Okay? I am so, any man, listen, first and foremost, I don't condone women hitting men. I don't condone that, okay? I never put my hands on a man unless he's threatening my life, okay? But any man who puts his hands on a woman, one, is a coward. Two, the only reason he does it is because he looks at you as being weak. But I guarantee you, if there was a much bigger man standing behind him, watching him put his hands on you, trust and believe, okay? He would slap him like a little bitch that he was too, okay? His mother was abused by his biological dad, so I don't know if this was... You know what? He may have seen these things, exclusive. He may have seen these things. I've seen these things. I've seen my mother being hit by men, okay? I have seen these things. But at the end of the day, if, you know, you even though you have witnessed these things, that's no excuse. That's no excuse, okay? Because I have seen my mother abused, okay? I have seen my aunts. I have seen so many, and at the end of the day, I have seen women in my family put their hands on men. I would never do that. I would not do that. To this very day, I would never put my hands on a man, okay? Again, unless he's threatening my life. That's a different story. But he would use that as an excuse. No, I watched my mom be beat up by my dad, and that's where it must have came from. No, no, no. It came from you being a little bitch because you couldn't be man enough to make your own choices and step outside of yourself for a second and say, I don't want to be like my father. So he obviously resonates more with his father, the abusive side of his father, and he felt the need to project that onto you. And I'm pretty sure his father probably beat him too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his father probably beat him too. Because anybody who lives in a household where you have the father beating the mother, more than likely they're hitting the children too. My ex sent my intimate images and screenshots. Oh, wow. He discarded me. He discarded me for the last time, and I went to the police. He woke up and early... Wow. Yeah, no. No. No, sweetie. No. 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 Yeah, that gets cut off. Cut that off. Cut that off. You know, that was just straight violation right there. To violate you that way and sharing intimate photos and exposing things that... No, my love. No. And good. I'm glad he got arrested. I'm glad he got arrested. He deserved it because for that, whew. You have a restraining order. He's been violated. Yeah, you see, this is that control. That's that control. That's that possessiveness. Okay? Because they look at you as fair game. He looks at you like he wants to conquer you. You understand? He wants to conquer you. And now that things are getting like a little out of control because now the authorities are involved, police are involved, now he's looking to make your life more miserable. Yeah, he has 10 charges right now and he still doesn't have a lawyer. I'm not sure how it is in Toronto, like how it works up there. I know out here, sometimes, well, out here, if someone gets arrested, they're given a lawyer through the court. So if they don't have a private lawyer, the courts will, give them a public defender. If the case is pretty severe, and if the person, let's say, makes bail on it, then the judges would require that they get a lawyer. And if the judge in some cases says you need to get a lawyer by your next court date, if the defendant doesn't do that, the judge can remand them into custody. But yeah, no, okay, magnificent. But yeah, no, exclusive. You definitely got to stay away from that. You got to stay away from that. I would just strongly advise, like if he's violating, I mean, clearly you need proof that he's violating the order of protection. And if you feel that your life is in danger, you know, depending on how he's violating, because a lot of the time people, especially manipulative people, narcissistic people, they try to do things very sneaky. Okay. So you have to really try to, like, you got to try to get him to hi Stefan. Yes, smearing and trying to destroy your reputation. Also, hi, I love your channel. Thank you, my love. Thank you. He's only been violating behind the screen. I've told police, but they can't do anything because of the whole freedom of speech thing. Block him. Block him. Block him from your social media. Here's what's going to happen. If you block him from all social media and you like, you know, you basically just, they don't like to be ignored. Okay? They don't like to be ignored. Block him from all of your social media. If he still wants to try to violate the, you know, like by reaching out to you directly, because obviously he's doing things indirectly. And they love to do that. They like to do indirect posts. They like to say certain things to give, you know, to be indicative. They're basically indicating who it is that they're talking about, but they're not saying it flat out. Block him on all your social media. All right? Accept no new friend requests. Keep your pages private. All your pages private. Okay? Don't bother going to his page. Don't bother looking. Don't bother doing anything. Here's what's going to happen. Okay? After you block him, he's probably going to continue. He's going to go ham. He's going to go hard. Okay? He's probably going to be putting up all kinds of stuff or whatever the case may be in hopes that you will see it and possibly react to it. Okay, I ended up dealing, he's been violating by posting a pic on his Gmail. I changed my Gmail pic with no intention to get his attention, and he's been writing words on his profile pic every day for 3 months. I ended up deleting my Gmail, so I stopped checking, and he's gonna know I deleted my shit. I don't have social media. He's just been watching my Gmail photo. Yeah, that's just creepy, dude. That is just like 3 months, really. And he's just watching a photo. Like, you don't have social media. I thought maybe you had, like, you know, Facebook or Instagram or whatever, but that's just clearly indicative of him having some serious issues. He's got issues, some serious issues. And you know what? Just listen, if he's not directly violating the order of protection, meaning if he's not coming by your home, you know, he's not within a certain amount of feet of you, he's not, you know, hold on one second. For some reason, it's like prolonging the comments. Yeah, don't entertain that. Don't entertain that. Okay? Because all he's really trying to do is he's just trying to get reactions out of you. And if you respond to him, you're giving in. You're feeding into that. Don't entertain any of it. Don't do it. Just, you know, you have to focus on just going your own way. What he did was super wrong. That was just wrong. That's a straight violation right there. Like, just showing other people your pictures and stuff like that, that clearly lets me, like, if my ex was to do something like that to me, oh my God, I think, I don't even want to say what I would do, but clearly something is wrong with him. Clearly he's feeling some kind of way. Let him stew in his own bullshit. Don't entertain him. Don't bother responding. Don't bother saying anything to him. Just steer clear of him. Steer clear of him, because they want you to respond. That's their thing. Reaction. Whether it be negative or positive, they want you to react. They want you to feel a certain kind of way, because you feeling a certain kind of way, you feeling upset, you feeling bitter, you feeling pain, you feeling hate, you feeling anger, jealousy, whatever. It's giving them power. It's giving them something. That lets them know that they have some form of control on you, and they have a control over your emotions. Okay? They still can control your emotions without even physically being in your presence, because when we respond, when we react, when we do certain things, that's what we're doing. We're still showing them that they have some form of control. He sent the pics through my own email. He logged in and sent it once. I didn't take him back. I ignored him. He even broke 4 of my electronics because I spoke to a guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. At least, you know what? And just stay that way. Go, do radio silence. And radio silence is pretty much where, he doesn't see you, he doesn't hear you, he doesn't know anything, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where you're at, or, what part of your life, what stage of your life. He doesn't know anything. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Because that right there, it gave me the creepy, like, I when I hear stories like that, and it's like, this is how dangerous they can get, guys. This is how dangerous they can get if they wanted to. Like, they're so possessive and controlling. They own you. That's their mind. They own you. They don't care what anybody says or think. You're not, like, you weren't a girlfriend, you weren't a boyfriend, you weren't a wife, you weren't a husband, you weren't, a daughter, you weren't a son. You were property to these people. That's what you were. You were their property. And they can come and go as they please. They can say and do as they want. And you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. You can't say anything about it. It's just, it's what they wanted, and that's it. That's it. And if it means making your life a living hell, or if it means, constantly causing chaos and drama in your life, they're going to continue to do it. They're going to continue to do it because they have nothing better to do. They have nothing better to do. I personally say grab a bag of dicks and just throw them at them. But of course, then I'll be wrong if I say that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I already know what Amanda's going to say. Too exclusive. I was very naive to this shit because I grew up codependent. And he was my first everything. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of us have codependent issues. Everybody's different on the spectrum. My codependency was really bad. Extremely bad. And I allowed certain things that I thought to myself I would never allow to happen. I allowed certain things to happen. I allowed for people to talk to me a certain kind of way, treat me a certain kind of way, and I pretty much like play the double standards with me, where they would gaslight me and they would make me feel bad about certain things that I didn't even think I didn't even realize I was doing, but they were the ones doing it. Magnificent. In the midst of a Hoover right now, doesn't acknowledge that you've ended things and moved on. Yeah. Yeah. Because, well, that's pretty much what they're, and that was another thing I wanted to talk about, guys, because, when narcissists manage to Hoover people back in, and some people tend to, like people standing on the outside may look at it and say, well, I don't understand if they did, all of this. Why would you take them back? Like, in other words, why would a victim fall prey to being to a Hoover? Why would they go back into a dynamic with someone who treated them this way? And it's clearly because of traumatic bonding. Okay? Traumatic bonding plays a very big role in this. The relationship you had with someone who's a narcissist, a sociopath, a toxic person, what have you, it was a relationship based on trauma. Okay? It was not like a regular, normal, healthy relationship. It was a relationship based on trauma. When he would upload pics on his Gmail, he would post him holding Patron bottles and said, "They say the love isn't real, the pain doesn't last, so we meet again." Yeah. Yeah, that exclusive, that right there, he's just doing that to, I honestly, you know what? Shut his ego down, man. Just shut it down. They play the victim so well. They'll sit there and play that victim that victimhood so well with people. They will have people thinking that, oh, I don't know what it is. It didn't work out because, and he probably told other people that it was you. We probably told other people that you were the problem. You were the issues. You were the one causing the drama and the chaos. God knows what he told other people. At the end of the day, he's sitting there playing victim. Meantime, he's not telling people, oh, I went and broke shit in her house. Oh, I went and slapped her because I wanted to see where her mind was. Oh, I went and been a little bitch and put my hands on. He ain't telling them that. They won't tell their friends. They won't tell other people the stuff that they did. They won't sit there and say, I went ballistic and got crazy and almost broke her neck. They're not going to tell them that. They're going to tell them, oh, she broke my heart. Because your resistance is pissing him off. So your resistance, by pissing him off, he's not only playing the victim, but he's trying to manipulate everyone to believe that you're the villain in the whole situation. You understand? Steven, my ex is hoovering me while with the man she cheated on me with. Shaking my head. Nope, you're stuck and I got my free. Yeah, let them have it. Let them have it. They thought they can do better than you. They thought that, you know what? I can, here's the thing, guys. You did everything you possibly could, right? And because these people because these people are just unhappy or they don't feel satisfied enough or whatever the case may be, they push that blame onto you. And because they push that blame onto you, what do they start doing? They start taking you for granted. They start taking advantage, okay? They see that you are willing to go to the end of the earth to love them, to be with them, to do whatever it is to make them happy. And of course, they're going to continue to ride with that while they're searching for something better. Something better. Okay? Something better. And I personally, listen, I said to myself, when all of this was, pretty much said and done, and I realized my value, I realized my worth, I said, you left the fucking Corvette for a bunch of broken down station wagons? You can have it. You can have it. And I felt the right to call myself a Corvette because you know what? I said, first of all, I got a nice outside. I'm not even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not conceited. Not no way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, I'm not good with cars. So just don't worry about the analogy. I'm not very good with cars. But the point of it is, you left someone who, and it's your prerogative to leave. It's their prerogative to leave. You wanted to go. You thought you could do better. Go and do better. Okay? Because at the end of the day, while you thought you can do better, you've shown me that I can do better. Okay? So if losing my trust, losing my love, losing my presence, everything was worth it, then you know what? Good for you. Good for you. Some victims fall victim again. They fall prey, They fall for it because a lot of them will come back and say, yo, I want to work things out. I'm sorry. I realize the errors of my ways. God talk to me. Because they know that you are trying to get right by God. They know that you're trying to do the right thing in your life. And some kind of divine intervention kicked in and boom. All of a sudden, everything they did, everything they said, they never meant it. Okay? What are their famous words? I never meant to hurt you. It was not my intention to hurt you. I'm sorry if I ever hurt you. I can change, okay? I realized that I was really messed up. I realized that, you were the best thing to ever happen to me. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. And you know what? I want to make this work. I want to have a commitment. This is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Okay? They're going to do and say anything to convince you otherwise. Okay? Because they had all that time to change. They had all that time to appreciate you. And the fact remains is you knew what you had. Because, people say, oh, you never realize what you have until it's gone. Bullshit. They knew what they had. They knew what they had. They just didn't think you were going to wake up and walk the fuck away. That's what they thought. They thought that, something, if I gaslight you enough, and if I kind of keep you at arm's length because I know that you're in love with me and I know that you want to be with me and you care about me. And, oh yeah, yes, exclusive, of course. I need your help. That's, I'll go to therapy. I can change. Or just, and you know what, exclusive is, it's funny that you brought that up because I put up a post that said that, you know what, when they say, oh, you're still stuck on that, well, can't you just let it go? Well, let's just put it behind us. Why don't we just try again and, let me prove myself to you. And they will try to prove to you guys. They'll prove it to you. They may spend a couple of months, maybe a year or whatever, staying on a straight and narrow path. But with a narcissist, with them, you always got to wait for that other shoe to drop. Me personally, you shit on me once, that's it. There is no maybe we can, or I don't make excuses for anybody. I don't make excuses for anyone because my trust is my bond. And if you break my trust, you've shown me, Amanda could tell you, I have a lot of friends that can tell you, if you break my trust or if you disrespect me in the most brutal way, I will not fuck with you. I will not deal with you at all. And I've had family and friends. I'm a Capricorn. I'm very stubborn. I'm extremely stubborn. So I'm one where I stand my ground and I will not budge. I will not move because at the end of the day, I trusted you with so much and you decided to take it upon yourself and say, well, screw Erica, screw her trust. Don't matter to me because I found me some gold pussy out here. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you. Go for it. When you find out it's gold plated, don't come looking for me. Yep. I'm trying so hard not to curse, guys. I try so hard. But exclusive story. Her story got me, man. Her story got me. It really got me. All the while never taking accountability. That's right. That's right. So, listen, let them to it, guys. Let them to it. Let them go for, whatever they find. Say what? Fools go. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because something magnificent? You have a lot of females who walk around, swearing, that they have vaginas made of gold. All right, cool. I don't compete with these females, man. I don't. I can come up on here and look like my lavish self, or I can come up here with a bun on my head and just look like crap, but I'm doing it for you guys. And I know that you guys love me regardless of how I look. So at the end of the day, I don't sit here trying to compete with anybody, and I'll be damned if someone's going to make me do that. If someone's going to sit there and be like, I'm going to give you the silent treatment because, or I'm going to, hurt you and ignore you because these females are giving me attention. And they're giving you attention. Go take it. Go take it. Go enjoy yourself. Okay? Go have fun with it. You want to go back to your. I mean, at the end of the day, I learned I don't need anybody but God. I don't need anybody but God. That's it. That's all I need. All I need is God. I don't need anybody else. Okay? Maybe Amanda every so often because she brightens up my days when she comes over. So always need Amanda. Janice, it's a pissy shame to be so evil, but that is the narcissist. Absolutely. Absolutely. And something? It's sad. It's sad and pitiful, because unless they decide to change this, and I mean genuinely change this. I don't mean just change this because, you know, people are talking about it more and it's like, you know, people are gonna, you know, start noticing things about me. So maybe if I try to, you know, alter some of the things that I do, no, really change, man. Like I can believe that people would change, you know? Because if you let God into your heart and you let him into your home, you let him into your life, he can change you for the better. He really, really, he can turn the most hardest heart that is made of stone, he can turn it soft. But these are the kind of people that just don't want to. They don't want to. And it's like the whole thing with the Peter Pan syndrome. You know, a lot of narcissists have Peter Pan syndrome. You're dealing with people who are very immature. They don't want responsibility. They don't want to be adults. They want to act like kids. They want to just, you know, sit there and I'm only 40 years old. Who has time to act like a 17-year-old? I don't. I don't. Okay, I can't even drop it like a 17-year-old anymore. If I drop, I'm just staying on the motherfucking ground. I can't even get back up. That's how bad it is. Like, who has time to be a kid? I don't. I don't. And I don't have time to be raising somebody else's kid. I don't have time to be teaching a grown man how to be a man. Teaching a grown man how to love. I don't have time to do all of that. I tried to do that. And look at what happened to me. I'm not doing it no more. No, I'm not doing it. Now, I'm not saying you have to come in a pretty package with a bow. I'm saying at least come with fucking instructions so I know what goes where. Because at the end of the day, I'm not. I can't do it. We're in 2021. Like, who has time to do any of that? I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I attempted to go into the dating world, guys. I tried it. Amanda could tell you. I was in it for like 2 seconds. And then afterwards, I'm sorry, but a lot of these dudes just are the reason why I rack up on batteries. I just don't want to deal with it. I really don't. I really don't. Like, dealing with this situation has turned me off so much to the point I don't want anything to do with it. No, I really don't. Yeah. Yeah. Tell the truth. Yeah. It's these people just don't. I don't even have a word for them, man. I really don't. Like, they're just yeah, magnificent. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I don't bother. I stick to myself. I stay to myself. I don't bother with nobody because at the end of the day, it's like you just get tired of the bullshit. You're just tired of it. You know, that's why it's important to just focus on your healing. And sometimes if you see yourself being isolated and you just see yourself kind of just not being around people or not being with anybody, sometimes that just might be God isolating you for your own good, you know, keeping you away from everything and everybody. So don't feel bad if, you know, if you're by yourself for a while, or if you just enjoy life, enjoy your singlehood, enjoy your freedom, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the peace and quietness and, you know, and of course, yeah. Yeah. Exclusive, I feel you. I'm so paranoid now. I feel like everybody got personality. We all, I think we all to some extent have personality disorders, but some people are just worse than others. And some people are, it's just, you know, it's just a matter of, because remember, and I've said this a lot of times before, guys, that you have to be very, very, yeah, Stephen, rechargeables. You have to be very careful with the kind of people you're dealing with, because you could be dealing with someone who has NPD. You could be dealing with someone who has BPD, borderline personality disorder. You could be dealing with someone who's bipolar. You could be dealing with, there are so many different personality disorders, guys. I did a video about maybe a year or so ago on the 10 different types of personality disorders. You can check it out. It's actually more towards my older videos, but it gives you the 10 different types of personality disorders. And it, you know, when I was doing my studies and I read, oh my God, like there are so many different types of personality disorders. You know, you got schizophrenic, you have schizoid, you have borderline personality, narcissistic personality, histrionic personality disorder, you have OCD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, you have ASPD, antisocial personality disorder. You have so many of them. You have so many of them. And at the end of the day, whether they're a narc, whether they're a borderline, whether they're a sociopath, whether they're psycho, whether they're whatever, toxic is toxic. And at the end of the day, I don't care if my ex wasn't a narc. I don't care if he wasn't classified as a narcissist, or if he wasn't classified as a sociopath, or he wasn't classified as anyone having a personality disorder. He did a lot of fucked up shit. And he had done some things that put me in fear. It put me in fear. And he had shown me that he is the kind of person I cannot have around my son. Okay? That is all I know. And at the end of the day, whether he is or he isn't, that's still not going to stop me from helping people to decipher who is and who isn't. Okay? Because I know the pain. I know what you guys are going through. And even if he wasn't, at the end of the day, I know how to relate, and I know how to feel. I'm a feeling person, and I feel you guys, and I feel your pain. And at the end, I'm going to continue and continue and continue. And if my time comes before my time is supposed to come, then I gave all permission to Amanda for her to continue for me. Okay, but as long as I'm here, I'm going to continue helping you guys. And I'm going to continue doing videos. I'm going to continue doing the lives with you, continue talking with you, continue being there for you, because I know what it is to not really have anybody there for you. And I know what it is to have to heal alone, to heal on your own. I mean, with the help of God, but I healed on my own. I had to do it all by myself. Can't no fucking body tell me anything when you got to do it by yourself. It's hard. It really, really is hard. It really is hard, guys. But you know what? We get through it. We get through it. Oh, yeah. Guys, it's 10:30. I love being here with you guys. Always love being here with you guys. And I love talking to you guys. And I love, just being able to vibe with you guys and help you guys in whatever way I can. There was some other stuff, but we'll go over it next week. Because I also have to be up pretty early in the morning for work. But there was, that one, Manda, is the video of the different types of narcissists. But I also have a video on the different personality disorders. I think it's like, it has like the different like smiley faces on it. So if you want to link that video, and probably yes, Magnificent. But if you want to link that video, or I'll link it in the description box below if you guys want to watch it, because that video helped me out a lot. Like, in doing the video, it helped me out because that's when I was really, really doing my studies. And I had no idea there was more. Like, there were so many of them. So I definitely think you guys would get good use out of it. And you can also check out the Peter Pan syndrome video. It's like 6 minutes long, so it's not that long. And it gives you the description, the traits, the characteristics of someone who suffers Peter Pan syndrome. That's also a good thing to look into, because you may be dealing with people of this nature. And of course, if you're looking for serious commitment, you're looking to really be seriously involved with someone who suffers that is not the ideal candidate. Can you bake a low-carb carrot cake that still tastes like heaven? I've never had to make a low-carb carrot cake before, but I probably could if I find like a really good recipe for it. I probably could. I mean, listen, if I can make a vegan cake and I've never made vegan cake before, and not only did the birthday girl like it, but her non-vegan husband loved it, anything's possible, right? I mean, I'd like to think that I could. So, I might be able to. If you want to shoot me an email and give me details on it, we'll see what we can do. So, guys, I love being here with you guys. You guys are always awesome. You guys are always uplifting. You guys really make my night. And you just really, really, you just really don't know how much you guys really make it all worth. You make it all worth doing all of this and meeting new people along the way, talking to new people along the way, and helping. Just it just really does a lot for me. It really, really does. And it fills my heart. I'm getting emotional right now. I'm trying so hard not to get emotional. I'm a softie. I really, really am. Hey, Frank, you're going to have to rewind back because we're actually done. We're actually done. It's I was actually doing closing out, but you can go back, sweetheart. You can go back to the beginning, and you already know if you have any questions or anything you want to add to anything, you can always add it in the comment section. For anybody who was unable to join the live. Yeah, yeah, I'm magnificent. I get very emotional. I get emotional, but that lets me know that I'm still human, and it lets me know that I'm still here. My heart is still here. Even though I feel the way I do about love, and I feel the way I do about relationships and romance and so forth and so on. Guys, even though I don't believe in love right now, I don't believe in love for myself right now, I still believe it possible for you. I believe it possible for you guys. That's why I try to focus on keeping you guys balanced, where think about what you went through, but don't let it consume you, and be with God in the process of it. Thank you, magnificent. I'm glad it does. Because I am like, what's funny? What's funny though is that when you're not looking, you're not going out there, you're not trying to find anything. You're just, honestly, you're basically in the mode of attracting. So I notice I've been attracting. That's what I do. I attract. I've been attracting. So if people try to come to me and say, what are you looking for? I'm not looking for anything. It's just coming to me. That's it. And that's what you got to focus on. Let it all come to you. Let the healthy love, the healthy people come to you. Continue to change yourself. Continue to focus on your peace. Continue to make it your priority. The more you do that, the more you're changing everything around you. You're changing your environment, you're changing your energy, and therefore, you're going to start attracting more people that will resonate with you. Okay? You may have a couple of energy vampires, but by then you'll know what to do when they come in your midst. Yes, Stephen, absolutely. Absolutely. Empathy is it's a very beautiful thing. It definitely is. And even though I feel the way I do, it doesn't take away from how I feel about you guys, how I feel about my son, how I feel about my friends, how I feel about my family. It doesn't take away from any of that. It's just, I guess maybe this is just a part of my life where love is just not on the menu right now. It's not meant for me to have it right now. And I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm comfortable with just being by myself for a while and just enjoying my time. Working, I got work, I have, school. I have a lot of different things going on. So it's okay. By me, it's okay for me. Yes, magnificent, higher frequency. Absolutely. Raise those vibrations, guys. Exclusive. Do you have any tips for letting go 100%? How do you stop thinking about someone when it comes naturally? Honestly, I'll tell you. I still get thoughts of I actually just recently had a dream about him. Believe it or not, I had a dream about him. It takes time. You know, you can let go when you're ready to let go. Healing, all of it takes time. It's not a 2 month thing. It's not a 6 month thing. It's a when your mind and your body is telling you it doesn't faze me anymore. When you can tell your story and you're not crying about it anymore. When you can sit there and think about a person and it doesn't affect you anymore. It doesn't affect you the way it used to. When you can walk past them and it's just, you're just a stranger. We're just two strangers who shared memories. That's it. You know, it takes time. Exclusive. It does take time. And you take all the time that you need. It's not easy. You were dealing with someone who was traumatically bonded with you. You were dealing with someone who projected all of their trauma onto you, who did all of these hurtful, mean things to you because they could not confront their own inner demons, because they couldn't confront the person who did it to them. So it just made it easier to do it to you. Letting go is not easy. It is, because if it were, trust me, let's put it this way. If letting go was easy, you wouldn't have any videos on narcissism. You wouldn't have these videos on, these advocates and people trying to help with the process. It's not easy, but it's possible. It just takes time. It definitely takes time. And you take your time. As long as you need, take your time. And little by little, slowly but surely, you're going to have memories. They're going to come. They're going to go. They're going to pop up in your head. You're going to have dreams. They're going to pop up. You're going to have, because even if you're trying to forget, they may be thinking about you. It's going to pop up. As long as you don't let it trigger you. That's the key thing. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They're trauma bonded. They're bonded to you. Well, they're bonded to you in a way because you triggered certain things within them. I've learned that I triggered wounds that my ex had. I triggered a lot of wounds because if I had to seriously guess, he dealt with females that were very, I don't want to say out of his league, but he dealt with females that felt they were better than him. He dealt with females that felt they were better than him, that they, that they did everything, they did everything to show him. They basically let's put it this way. They put his self-esteem down so much to build their own, okay, that he was like a little tiny speck of a man, They actually projected onto him so much that it just tore his self-esteem down. And when it came to meeting someone who was not like that, who appreciated him just for who he was, they may have looked at him like he was mediocre. I looked at him like he was a good person. I looked at him like, I like you for who you are. And I think my type of love triggered certain things within him because he's used to dealing with certain narcissistic females, nasty females who, and he internalized it. I think he internalized all of that and he projected that onto me. But I had to work on forgiveness with psychiatric help and helping getting to the solution, and learn how to forgive myself for allowing this person do what they did. Absolutely. Absolutely. I got you, but no, I understand what you're saying though. But yeah, you're right. We have to forgive ourselves. We do, because we sometimes beat ourselves over the head. We beat ourselves up for what happened. But you got to remember, you had trauma too. You have trauma too. And they triggered that trauma. They triggered that trauma within you too. So it wasn't just, it was something. Remember, guys, you met these people for a reason. These people were in your lives for a reason. Something had to be awoken within you for this to happen the way it did. Granted, it happened in a real crappy way, but you met them for a reason. And I think, truthfully, you met them because you needed to see how truly fucking awesome you guys are. And you had to see that you're something so much special. You're something so much better that you needed to really, really see yourself. You needed to see yourself in the mirror. See your true reflection. Okay? They projected onto you that you're weak, and you accepted that. Now, after all of this nonsense and everything you went through, and you're going through your healing, and you're forgiving, and you're gaining your strength, and you're doing everything you got to do. Listen, I walk past my mirror and I'm like, I'm an awesome fucking person. And sometimes I might, if I'm listening to music, I'll be dancing in front of my mirror. You're awesome. Okay? Don't deny yourself that. You've been denying yourself that all this time because you were too busy validating them. Now is your turn. That's right. Exclusive, I did the same thing. Okay? When someone would ask me, are you single? Are you married? Are you this? Or they'll ask me, what's my status? I'm a widow. I had to literally kill this person in my mind. And that was hard. Because it's just the person that I fell in love with. I basically looked at it as that person's dead. He's buried and he's gone. Because it feels like you lose him to death. That's how I felt. I felt like I lost him to death. I lost him to something, But then how do you lose someone who wasn't really there? Who wasn't really real? How do you lose him? Riddle me that. And it was hard. I cried day and night. I cried. I hurt. I was in pain. But sometimes you have to, you just have to accept it in your head like if they're dead. So it can help you with the healing and moving on. And mind you, it's a bit harder for me because I actually live in the same vicinity as the person. So you can imagine every time I go past in their house, because for whatever reason, and it's just like, just memories. That's it. That's all they are. Memories in the back of my head. Too exclusive. Do you believe in soul ties? Yes, I do. That person was never there. We were in a relationship with ourselves. Pretty much. We were pretty much, Thank you, Janice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And to exclusive, thank you for being here too. I hope we'll get to see you, see more of you. And, just remember it's every Tuesday that we all come together, just to sit and talk, nothing crazy. To throw little pearls of wisdom and, and just tell your stories at the same time, just to kind of get the feel of everyone. There's usually more people here, but, I understand if they couldn't make it, they'll always catch it on the stream. And, if you break a soul tie, would they be able to feel it? Well, soul tie, energetic cord, things like that, I believe they would. Because you can, they can feel the resistance. So they could tell if it's just like a feeling within them, especially if you're not paying attention to them, if you're not bothering with them, if you're just not feeding into it, because you give it power if you feed into it. But if you decide, and breaking a soul tie, breaking the energetic cord, means that you're detaching from the person, you are detaching from them energetically, you're detaching from them spiritually. You are not, you know, in which when I broke my soul tie, my detachment, when it came in, because, you know, and I did my soul tie, I broke my soul tie like through the method of God. Like, that's how I broke the soul tie. Everybody's different. When I detached, it was maybe not that long after I detached, I started getting a feeling of I mean, obviously I started becoming really resistant. I was becoming very, like, I was hardening, because, you know, I'm no longer attached to the person energetically, which means that I'm no longer feeling those feelings. I'm no longer feeling those, you know, having those thoughts. But when I detached and I no longer was feeding my energy, and I was pretty much just in my own way, you have to be careful with it, because they can try to push their energy onto you, which was what was happening. I could feel energy. I could feel feelings of depression. I could feel feelings of extreme sadness, moodiness, and this wasn't me. I could tell when he was drinking. I could taste it when he was drinking. I would wake up and I literally felt like my stomach was just, it was just, I don't drink. I don't drink. But when I would wake up, I could like literally feel my stomach just really sick. And I woke up feeling like I wanted to vomit, because I felt like I had like a hangover. Like, I just couldn't, I could feel tension, frustration. I felt anger. At some point, I had really bad thoughts. In a way, they were kind of suicidal, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Like, those feelings was not me. It was not me. And as much as I wanted to, there was one time that I unblocked him, and I reached out to him, because I got so tired of it. I got so tired of it. And I reached out and I said, listen, I know you know, probably shocked to hear from me, but I can feel you. I was very honest with him. I can feel you. I can feel when you're around. I can feel when you're watching me. I can feel when you're around me. I can feel when you are just throwing negative energy at me. I can feel when you know, you're mad, you're stressed, you're this, you're that. I can feel it all. And I'm tired of it. The only thing I left open was my heart. My heart, I left that cord, because at the end of the day, I I still, you know, cared. I still wanted him to know that. But after that, I cut that too. I cut it all. I cut it all off, because you can't get mad at me for the decisions that you make. You made these choices. You decided to do all of these things. And because it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out, and it clearly, you know, you clearly fucked up. You're not throwing your negative energy at me. You're not throwing your shade at me. You're not doing any of that to me. I'm not having it. So, but when you detach, you are cutting cords. You're cutting ties, energetic. You're cutting up here. You're cutting from here. You're cutting from here. You're cutting from everywhere. You're just cutting these cords, and they know, they can feel when you're detaching from them. So much so to the point that you feel like you get that repulse type of feeling. Amanda, I'm super brave now. Fuck it. I park in front of where I used to live. My barber is around the corner. It's a public block. Yeah, I mean, she's not. She's not going to say anything. Not going to do anything. She's in no position to. Butch, falling in love with the perception, the lie, when the mask comes off, it just comes off. I'm learning I'm a person of worth, a child of God, and that I'm responsible for my healing. Absolutely, Butch, and I'm very, very proud of you, and I'm glad you're doing what you got to do. Absolutely. Thank you. Exclusive, do you think they move on fast, or they think of you often? To exclusive, what I'm going to do, shoot me an email. Go to one of my old lives. I got my email address in there. You can shoot me the email. But as far as them moving on fast, it's just pretty much a matter of it's just a matter of fulfilling supply. It's like the grass is greener syndrome, you know? They think they can do better, and because they're just pretty much projecting on their miserableness, their misery onto you. That's what they were doing. They were projecting it onto you, so they made you out to be the problem. And then when they realize that it's not you, because they could be just as miserable with their new supply, this is their MO. That's their MO. It's what they do. They move on. They bounce around from relationship to relationship. It's just something that they do. They're non-committal type of people. They do not like to commit. They just give the impression that they do, but they don't like to commit. They're out to get pretty much what it is they want, and that's it. Unfortunately, that's how they operate. Very conniving, very deceitful people. And it's sad, the lengths that they go through to get what they want out of people. Good people, such as yourselves too. It really is sad. But guys, I'm going to call it a night. I have to be up early in the morning, and I am exhausted. Look at my bags and my eyes. I got to put cucumbers. But definitely exclusive. Send me an email, and we'll talk further into it, okay? So guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for, of course, letting me vent. I love having you guys here. I love it when you, okay, sweetie. I love it when you guys share, you never know, like I said, who needs to hear it. We got a couple of new people who have joined, so hopefully we'll see more of them, and hopefully our original vibers will be able to be here next week. But I am, let me just, okay, Lauren, it's so much like a drug addiction. The trauma bond sucks. The good memories got to be erased somehow. Absolutely, sweetie. Absolutely. I'm sorry if I didn't get to see you, your messages, guys. I've been going back and forth. But I thank you so much for being here tonight. I thank you so much for, for joining me, for keeping me company. I get to keep you company. And thank you for your insights. Thank you for your input. Thank you for joining. You guys are truly, y'all are awesome. Y'all are really awesome. I love doing this. I love being here with you guys. And I love it all. I do. But Big Mama's going to get ready for bed because I'm exhausted and I got to be up early in the morning. So guys, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure having you here. I will be seeing you all next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I promise. I'll do it 8 p.m. And in the meantime, be sure to check out the different personality disorder videos that Amanda linked, but I'll link it in the description box below. And you can check out the latest video on the Peter Pan syndrome and narcissism. I think it plays a very big role. Oh, okay. All right, guys. I think that's just a sign for me to go. It's about to cut off. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I will see you all next week. Love you all. Have a great remainder of your week. Be on the lookout for the next video. Don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm pretty sure it'll be something good for you guys. Until next time, guys. Mwah. Much love to you all. Have a great night. Bye.